know if she was wondering what kind of black she was getting. I'm not trying to even be on her case. This is not even me being on her case. I don't want to lie. I don't want to say I'm on her case. I'm not on her case. I actually kind of like her. I think she's really cool. But I wanted to see their situation. So let me play a little bit of the clip.
Did you expect me to have brunette hair?
I did not. My hair, what'd you think?
I like your long hair.
Thank you.
Your eyes are pretty. The light's hitting them.
I appreciate you.
When he laughs.
All right, cool. So here's my thing. I think she's a really confident woman. I think she's really confident. I think she's secure in herself and really confident. But obviously, they both have very deep backgrounds they've come from. And maybe her insecurity might show up a little bit later on. But for now, what I saw was she was very secure, confident, and I love the fact that, that, like she said, but no, I'll get to that in a second. And I love the fact she is somebody that seems so warm and just engaging and just so inviting. I love that energy about them. When they met for the reveal, he was a little bit tentative. I felt like he was a little bit tentative, nothing crazy. I just felt like he was a little bit tentative. And that's a great point, Casey. I'll bring that up a set later on. But I felt it was a little bit tentative. And so I felt like, I don't know. He's never dated a black white woman before, right? So it just seems like God has brought this person. But I'd have been like, God didn't bring this one for me because I'm not here for the white folks. No offense, but I want to marry someone black. But I can understand he's open to it. He's a worship leader, all this kind of stuff, right? So he's kind of going with the flow. But I felt a little bit of tension, a little bit of tentativeness from his side. Maybe he was considering the fact that she's a white woman and how do I approach the situation? He thought she was blonde. I wonder if that's what he likes. I don't know. He seemed just a little bit nervous in the situation. When it came to obviously holding hands as I was sitting down, I just didn't feel like he wanted to. I felt like he was almost avoiding holding her hand. And they almost sat on a bench like two friends. Didn't sit on a bench like two lovers. But it may be, like I said, it's just the beginning. He's tentative, doesn't know how to necessarily handle it. And that's okay. We're not afraid of tentative people. Right? If you're tentative and you are slower to moving, I'm not against it. It's very early days. But yes, it is given a little bit timid. It is given a little bit shy, a little bit gentle. And my only fear behind that is not even him. My only fear about that is that she said she need a Negro to hold it down. Okay, let's not forget what she said in episode 3. She said she need a man that's gonna let her know and take charge. And so she wants to be submissive. But whenever somebody says, I want to be submissive, just know they got traits that are not submissive. Because they're telling you, I want to be submissive, but I ain't met the right energy that's gonna make me submissive. So I just want him to understand that the timidness is cool, but it looks like you may need to have a little bit of a firm grip and a firm stance and a firm foundation and be strong about what you're about. You got what I'm saying? Because it looked like she might want to run things. You get me? Yeah? It may look like that in that particular scenario. So I was like, look, you got to be very careful of those moments because she may overrun him and he may feel overwhelmed. Again, I'm not saying that is necessarily bad, but because of her background and his background, I can understand where it comes from, right? She spoke about her father passing at 5. He spoke about his parent as well. I think it might have been his dad as well, also passing as well. And so this is she's had to grow up really quickly. No father figure, grown up as a person. So this is something that is not necessarily that she was trying to do. It's as a result of situation and her background. And she explained, that her mother had a twin sister. That twin sister passed away. She was born on that same day her mother is. So she's very close to her mother. But if she hasn't had that father figure, what can happen is it can be very difficult to want to submit. Now, when you meet that right energy, you're happy to kind of surrender. When you meet the right kind of energy, you do want to surrender. But I'm wondering, is he the right kind of energy? Okay, all right. Now, maybe he's got another side to him that we're not necessarily seeing. Maybe he's observing and taking time to observe the lay of the land before he does exude that. But I never got that in the pods, and I'm certainly not getting it outside the pods at the moment. We got 2 more episodes. Maybe we'll see that kind of behavior later on. But I'm not really seeing that assertiveness from him in this instance. So I wonder if that may be an issue a little bit later on, but maybe he's also somebody that teaches, and so it doesn't necessarily need to be on the offensive, but he knows how to guide and be like, let me direct that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna count him out. I'm not gonna count him out, and I'm not gonna count her out. I'm just kind of giving an instance of what I saw. I don't think it's necessarily a red flag. It's more of a case of something that can cause a little bit of issue in the future. I'm not gonna say it's a red flag. I'm gonna say it's something that could cause a little bit of an issue in the future, and it's something to look at. Right? Let's have a look. Let's look at this clip here that I want to play as well. Right?
I do deserve this, literally. I'm so grateful. So grateful. Literally.
Me too.
I love you.
I love you.
He said, "I love you," and she said, "I love you," and they were in their separate hands. Look, that's my only issue. I think they're both afraid. I'm not gonna lie to you, because she started describing. She wanted to describe later on something about black features or black stuff or whatever, and she was a little bit tentative too, of course, because again, it's a very dangerous place to be when you're black and white. But I'm not. There's a little bit of fear there, and it may be apprehension, it may be the Christianese. Who knows? I'm not trying to down them. I just want to be very honest about it. He said, "I love you," looked at her, but then he held his hands in his lap. It just seemed a little bit tentative and a little bit tame, and didn't carry the passion that I wanted to see, yeah? It didn't have the passion, but I'm not counting them out, okay? But I wanted to see a little bit more passion from when he said, "I love you," and not just look to her, but, you know, have a bit more of the physical body language a little bit. You know, it was a little bit too. And I wonder if this is because of, again, you know, obviously early childhood trauma, parents passing. You know, that could also play a big role into it as well. You know, your parents passing, and then, you know, some of his parents, I think his mum, is it dad? Someone tell me in the chat, is it dad that passed? Can't remember. So, you know, that aspect, someone passing, and then you have to deal with that. And then you had to, you know, his mum passed. So then obviously as well, you know, having to stand in the gap from 12 years old, you know, you end up kind of growing up much quicker. But if you listen to what he was saying, even the way he was talking in the pods, the way he was talking about how what I want, I needed it to be told to me. I just didn't get, thank you for that, guys. Yes, mum passed of cancer. Her father died as well. But I just didn't get that, you know, even from that person that he had to grow up quickly, an assertive energy necessarily. I wasn't getting that from him, from where he was describing. Almost as if he needs to be taken care of a little bit. I'm not saying he's not going to take care of her. I'm not saying that at all. I want to be very, very clear. I am not saying he doesn't want to take care of her. What I'm saying is I almost felt like, because of the way that situation's happened, the energy I was getting from the screen was almost as if she might be playing more masculine and he might be playing more feminine. I'm not against them, and I'm not trying to shoot them down. It's not a deal breaker. It is something to be paying attention to that may cause issues a little bit later on in terms of what they have to work out. I think their energies at the moment might be a little bit polarized at the wrong ends because of what they lost. He lost a mum, she lost a dad. And where the nurturing should have come for the mum, that's been lost. So you didn't get that. But then also the protection and the covering from the father, that's off. That's also gone as well. So what's happened is both of them have actually grown up in polarizing situations now, and it feels like they've also stood in opposite energies. And so all I'm saying is that there may be their growth journey may be the overlap, or she may be comfortable and he may be comfortable, and they may stay there. There are some couples that are really